So, have you ever wondered what really separates a simple website from a true living web application? It's that ability for users to actually log in, save their own stuff, and have an experience that's totally unique to them? Well, today, we're going to build exactly that. We're going to see how AI can act as our co-pilot, turning a static, flat design into a dynamic app one step at a time.
So what's the secret ingredient here? Well, it's all about persistence. Think about it. A website is kind of like a flyer, right? Everyone who looks at it sees the exact same thing. But a web app remembers you. It lets you create an account, save your information, and when you come back, your world is just how you left it. And that, right there, is the massive leap from just a digital brochure to a genuinely functional tool. All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to nail down that core difference. Then, we're diving straight into the build. We'll give our app users create a memory for it to store all their data, figure out how to handle file uploads, and then the best part, we'll connect all the wires and bring the whole thing to life.
First up, the core difference. And look, this isn't just about getting the terms right. Understanding this distinction is the absolute foundation for everything we're about to do.
I love this comparison because it just nails it perfectly. A website talks at you. It's basically a monologue. But a web app, that's a dialogue. It's interactive. You create an account, you save your notes, your pictures, whatever, and the app actually responds to you. You're not just a passive viewer anymore, you're a real participant.
So our whole build process is going to break down into these 4 key steps. First, we build a front door. That's user authentication. Then we've got to give the app a brain, a memory with a database. Next, we'll add a digital warehouse for all those file uploads. And finally, we'll plug it all into the user interface to make it sing. Ready? Let's get started.
All right, let's get into it. Step 1, giving our app users. Every good app needs a front door with a lock on it, right? We need a way for people to sign up, log in, and basically prove they are who they say they are. And that whole process, it's called authentication.
Now, for all the heavy lifting on the back end, we're going to use a platform called Supabase. Just think of it like a pre-built engine for our app. And the setup is, well, it's kind of wild. You literally just grab 2 little pieces of information, the project's URL, which is its address, and a special password called an API key. You feed those 2 things to an AI, and it literally writes the code to connect our app's front end to this super powerful back end. It's amazing.
But, the AI's first attempt wasn't quite perfect. It created a sign-up process with a pretty big security hole. A user could sign up and get logged in instantly without ever actually verifying that their email was real. And as the developer in our source material points out, that is a huge no-no for any professional app.
And this is where the magic of working with AI really shines. The fix wasn't about writing a bunch of complicated code. No, it was a simple, plain English instruction. Hey, don't let users in until they confirm their email. The AI just got it, and it rewrote the flow. So now you sign up, you see check your email, you click the link, and then you're in. Just like that, you go from a leaky bucket to a secure fortress, all with one simple sentence.
And for the final touch, that little bit of polish, we added a Continue with Google button. It seems like a small thing, but it has a huge impact on trust and just making things easy for the user. And the best part? We enabled it with just one more simple AI prompt.
Okay, so users can get in the door, which is great. But right now, our app basically has amnesia. It doesn't remember who they are or anything they've done. So it's time we give our app a long-term memory. And that memory is something called an SQL database. Now, don't let the name scare you. Just think of it as a massive, super intelligent spreadsheet. When a user signs up, they get their own unique user ID. And from that moment on, every single piece of data they create, a note, a preference, anything, gets tagged with their ID. This is the key to how the app keeps everyone's stuff perfectly separate and secure.
Let's make this real for a second. This is basically what a notes table in our database looks like. See, every bit of info has its own column. You got the user ID, which links it to a specific person, you've got the title of the note, and then the actual content. It's just clean, organized, and incredibly efficient.
And here is the absolute kicker. We didn't write a single line of code for this. We just told the AI what we needed in plain English. It analyzed our app, it designed this whole table structure, it wrote the code to create it, and it generated all the security rules to make sure you can only ever see your own data. That is a ton of work, and it was done in seconds.
Okay, so our app's memory is fantastic for text and numbers. But what about the bigger stuff? Images, PDFs, maybe even videos. For that, we need more than just a filing cabinet. We need a secure digital warehouse.
And this is a super important concept to get. The database is for structured data. Think of it like the contacts in your phone. You have neat little fields for name, number, email. Storage, on the other hand, is for the unstructured stuff, the actual photos, the videos, the documents themselves. They each have a very specific job, and using the right tool is absolutely crucial.
And setting this up was, again, ridiculously easy. We create a secure container, they call it a bucket, we lock it down with some pre-made security rules, and then we use one more AI prompt to connect our upload button to it. And the result is totally seamless. Every single user gets their own private secure folder up in the cloud, all done automatically.
We've done it. We've built the engine, we've got authentication, a database, and file storage all sitting there ready to go. So now for the most satisfying part of all, connecting that powerful engine to the dashboard and watching our app truly come to life. So before we connect everything, the dashboard is it's just a pretty picture. It might say you have 12 total notes, but that's just a static number that was hard-coded into the design. It's a placeholder. It's totally disconnected from reality. But the second we connect the UI to our database, this happens. A user adds a new note, and boom, the number instantly updates to 13. That right there, that is the magic moment. That's when your app stops being a lifeless mock-up and becomes a living, breathing product that actually responds to its users.
And this connection, it isn't just a neat trick. It is the absolute foundation of a real business. This is how you build a SaaS, a software as a service product. Because the app is now smart, it knows how many notes a user has. You can build rules around that data. You can say, hey, free users get 3 notes, but if you want more, you've got to upgrade. You've just built a direct path to making money.
So this entire journey we've been on has taken us from what could have just been a cool tech demo to something way more powerful. We've used AI not just to make a pretty interface, but to build the solid, secure foundation of a real, potentially monetizable business. Which, of course, leads to a much bigger question. So we've seen exactly how to build the core of a real web app. The authentication, the data storage, the dynamic UI, all using AI as this incredibly powerful assistant. And this brings us to the final crucial takeaway from our source material. It ends with a challenge, and I want to leave you with that same thought. Are you just consuming AI content, watching all this amazing stuff from the sidelines? Or are you going to take these tools and build real, valuable products with them? Because as we've seen today, the barrier to getting started has never, ever been lower.